We were all born in prison, slaves to sin, and we didn't know it. And because that's all we've ever known, we adapted our lives to that condition. But it wasn't always that way. In the Garden of Eden at the beginning, we had no fear, we had no shame, no scarcity, no anxiety, no fear of lack, no oppressive toil, no separation from God. We had freedom and we had dominion. And it was beautiful. But the unthinkable thing happened in the garden through deception. And we were sold to sin, no longer free. Anxious toil became the norm. Fear and worry became our daily companions. And from that day to this, something inside us longs to regain that freedom, for that connection to God as our Father, to be delivered from anxious toil that drives us on, and from the bondage of corruption into the glorious freedom of the children of God. Have we forgotten, or did we not know, that Jesus came to proclaim liberty to the captives, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, that it was for freedom that Christ has set us free? We love to quote those verses, but so few experience the promise they contain. Every man and every woman craves and longs to be free, but yet so many are shackled by the cares of this world, or the lust for other things entering and choking and strangling and draining the life out of them, keeping them from experiencing the promise they know is true, but have yet to experience. So they take a rain check on the promise and settle for getting in heaven when they die. But we are free right now. He has opened the prison doors. We are free to walk out and step into liberty, to be free as a bird. Sadly, for most, they prefer the confines they've gotten used to, those long hours, lost connection, not only with God, but even with their own families, sharing the same prison cell with them. The door is open, but they prefer the familiar and the consolation of their fellow inmates as they sing songs about the sweet by and by, while the exhilaration of the amazing here and now passes by their window. My friends, heaven can wait. We have work to do on this earth, and that work is not burdensome, nor is it anxious toil. It is our destiny. We have a life of adventure and conquest and purpose awaiting our agreement to take hold of it fearlessly, confidently, and faithfully. But will we? Will you? When Jesus said, "Consider the birds," he was addressing the universal condition of worry, which is a manifestation of fear. And he knew we were all slaves to fear. And so he pointed out the birds. They don't plant crops. God made sure their provision was planted for them. They don't slave in the hot sun to gather up a barn full of supply because they know it's not going to run out. The world is their barn. There's no need for them to build one. He used birds to deliver his message because, well, they're everywhere. And they have this epic sense of freedom, and we instinctively, we know it. We see them flying in the sky and wish we could do that. We see some of them diving for fish and we wish we could go fishing instead of grinding away at the office. We hear them singing in the morning their own song of freedom, and something within us longs for that. We want to be free from worry, from anxiety, from lack, and from burdensome debts. We've all carried the weight of learned behaviors and false beliefs that we didn't choose that enslave us, but they were ingrained into us when we were too young to know differently. We were told, this is the way life works. This is the way it'll always be. But it doesn't have to be that way. Freedom. That's the cry of our heart, the cry of our soul, to be free. Free to make choices, free to go where we want, when we want, in alignment with the high calling of God on our life. Freedom to live a life full of joy and happiness, to live worry-free, never again concerned about provision. This book is about true freedom and how to find it. The freedom that every bird flying in the sky knows, that every eagle soaring above, every hummingbird flying across the Gulf of America knows and lives. It is not freedom from work, but finding joy in the work he created you for, and in the process, having all your needs met according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. In this book, you're going to find the keys to freedom, not the kind of freedom the world promises that holds you captive to the lust and desires of your flesh, but the kind of freedom that frees your soul and opens up a world of possibilities that have eluded your notice before. the freedom that beckons you to spend your life in a worthy cause, daring greatly, borrowing a line from Teddy Roosevelt, knowing that if you fail, you at least failed while daring greatly, not settling to be numbered among those timid souls too afraid to step out of the prison that Christ has freed them from. Thanks so much, and God bless.